Hey folks, it's Mr. Williams. The topic of this video is domain of piecewise functions in interval notation. So I mentioned in the last video over set notation that a piecewise function has multiple pieces to it or multiple branches. And we talked about how to do that in set notation. This one's for interval notation. We're going to connect the domain of each piece using this symbol. It is the union symbol. It is not a U, it is more of a cup to make the union symbol. And set notation is written with either square brackets, parentheses, or one of one and one of the other. Okay. An open dot or an arrow is going to be a parenthesis. A closed dot is going to be a bracket. So these are using the same graphs as we had on the last video over set notation. Those are in Google Classroom. Make sure you have your notes pulled up as well. So this is a function like we had in Algebra 1. We're doing domain, which is left and right. We only care about the x values on this because we're only doing domain. This goes all the way left here to -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -7. And it is an open dot, which is a parenthesis. We can find that up here. Comma, this is 1, 2, 3 to the right. And it is a closed dot, so that is a square bracket. Okay. Remember, we don't care about y values on this. I don't care about down. I care about how far it is to the right. How far it is to the right. So this one, I've got two pieces. I'm going to go with my leftmost piece first. This is how far left. This is how far right on that piece. We've got a closed dot, which is a square bracket. That is at -1, -2, -3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -7, comma. And this first branch goes left to -1, -2. And that is an open circle, so it is a parenthesis. Then to connect the two branches, we're going to put that union sign. We're going to do this one, that is 1 to the right of the axis, and it is a closed dot, so it is a bracket. 1 comma, and then over here on this right end we've got an arrow. It is going up and right. I don't care that it is going up because we're doing domain. I care that it's going right. How far right? Forever, which we call infinity. Remember the arrow, infinity, it does not reach it, so it is a parenthesis. Okay, the other two graphs. The other two graphs are a bit more complicated, and this is where it is. There's quite a bit of a difference from set notation in how we do it. So these are our two graphs. We're going to do the right one and then the left one. We talked in the last video, I mentioned how there's this asymptote here that the graph gets close to but never reaches. There's a point right here, arrow, arrow. In set notation, we excluded a value by saying x is not equal to that value. That is not how we do it in interval notation. In interval notation, we write these as two completely separate intervals that are joined by the union sign. So this first one is -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the left with a closed dot, which is a bracket, -7 comma. And we are going to write this separate from this other one. So that is going to 1 with a parenthesis because it does not reach it. Union, parenthesis, 1 comma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With a bracket because it is a closed dot. Now this one, like I said, is a bit different. In set notation, we can just say that x is not equal to 1. We cannot do that in interval notation. We've got to use two separate intervals joined by the union sign. The one on the left is the most complicated of them. We've got this closed dot and this arrow. We've got a open dot and a closed dot. We've got a closed dot and an arrow with a hole in the middle. So we're going to worry about this first. It is left and up forever. Okay, I don't care about up. because we're not doing range, we're doing domain. We're going left forever. Left, hopefully you remember, is negative. So we are going left forever. Forever in a negative direction, that's negative infinity with a parenthesis since it's an arrow. Comma, this branch goes to -2. And that is a closed dot, so we have a bracket. We need a union sign to combine the domains of these pieces. This goes from 0, which is an open dot, so it's a parenthesis, to 1, and that's a closed dot, so it's a bracket. We need a union symbol again. Remember, this value in set notation, we could just say x is not equal to that value. We cannot do that in interval notation. We have to treat this as separate intervals. So we've got 2 with a square bracket because it's closed, 2 to 4, parenthesis, because it does not include that, union 4 to, this right here is right forever and up forever. Right is a positive direction. Sorry, I know that's written uphill, but hopefully you get the picture. So that is domain and interval notation of piecewise functions. If you have questions, ask them on Google Classroom or shoot me an email. Till next time, be well, do good.